Welcome everyone to a commented walkthrough of a full half hour of Just Cause 3 being played on PC. I'm Magnus, this is Dóri, and here we're taking down a satellite base.
Yeah, we'll start off right in the action. This is you actually playing on the PC. You actually used a Xbox controller.
I actually did, yes.
Some of the clips are with me playing with a keyboard. We'll talk a little bit about the differences of the control input, stuff like that.
Will.
But let's start off with the destruction. You hear you're attacking this radio station. We've seen similar clips of this before.
Yeah,
but how did it actually feel playing it?
Well, the thing is that Just Cause has like this stable mechanics that you are constantly being reminded to use in order to play the game right, you could say. And that is the parachute, which gives you sort of, you know, a bit of leisure to sort of fly around and destroy the stuff you want.
It's kind of like a floating weapons platform.
Yes, it is.
So you just hover and shoot.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to start with doing. And I think for now, what we're showing off here is the new stabled mechanic, which of course is the tethers. Now, I played the game at a preview session where, and that went really well by the way, where the tethers wasn't nearly as strong as they are here. And here they are in upgraded form, and they're really effing powerful.
Yeah, and you can put down, what, 3 or 4 at the same time?
And you can upgrade them to have extra horsepower, a real critical power up to get. Of course, as we'll take a look at in little later in the video, there is a huge upgrade screen, which wasn't in Just Cause 2, where you can sort of switch around your gear mods, they're called. Yeah. And here we have the powerful tether gear mods. I tried to
and then actually you can put down 4, and then you press a button to pull them together.
Yeah, detract, so they sort of, using gravity against the world itself, which is pretty cool.
The, of course, the stunt jumping out of vehicles is back. You just did that on a helicopter there. And here we have another addition, the wingsuit, which I found pretty hard to control.
Very hard to control, and we've had this also in my preview. This has been like the point of debate when talking about Just Cause 3, because some journalists, including myself, at least from the get-go, thought that it didn't really work as intended. But as you said to me when I came back from the preview event, give it some time, you'll get used to it, and especially how it works with the grappling hook.
Like
gaining more speed. More
later. Here we are on a clip where I am actually playing.
Oh, right,
I was trying to assault a similar base that you were doing there earlier, except...
Yeah, now if you fail to get the same sites down, like, too slowly, then you're being blown out of the sky in like seconds.
Yeah. But I love that, you know, I get taken out of helicopters, like, I'll just jump onto the next one. And this one actually had some missiles, so I could take that on that side.
I think like the point we should touch upon pretty quickly as well is that Just Cause 2, for my part, I thought, was an excellent canvas for things to be built upon for later. And that's what Just Cause 3 seems to be at least intending to do. So how do you feel like they've pulled it off? Is there enough new stuff here? Does there need to be new stuff?
Well, that's the thing. During this preview, it should be said, we weren't allowed to play any of the missions or the story or anything like that. It was basically just, okay, run around, do some fun shit.
Yeah.
Like that. And I think the destruction is, well, phenomenal.
Phenomenal,
I think that the world is so huge. You'll see some of the map screen a little bit later. It is huge.
The thing is,
and the way that this works actually is you can see everything that has like a red thing on it. That is a chaos object. That is something that you need to destroy in order to take over this base. So if that is destroyed, that doesn't respawn. But stuff like this,
it's me.
You're taking down out this bridge here.
I love that.
This will respawn when you leave the area and you come back or you die.
Yes, the same thing with the gas stations. That, you know, it's just a create object. Oh no, this is where we get to the other part, which is sort of the YouTube nature of the game, which is creating moments with the stuff that you're given to do something that's funny, to appeal to the Twitch. The streamers out there.
Which is kind of what I saw my job as. After you had done like the straight up,
I'm
trying out all the systems, I put I put Rocket C4 on cows.
Look at this! Which other game lets you do that?
Yeah, I actually found out later.
That's not funny.
Hey. He was coming right at me. Now, there's one thing that I found out after doing this video that we weren't able to record. That you can actually ride the cows. And some
Oh yeah,
other
that's
animals.
true. Yeah. By the way, this is the PC version of game. We should stress none of us up until this point have played the console version of the game, but the draw distance here is phenomenal.
Yeah, we're also
way,
playing it on a pretty beefy PC. You got
played it on the tower.
a 980 Titan, and etc. etc. But
so this is me pulling two chaos objects together in order to demonstrate just how powerful these tethers can be.
Yeah,
and
after
how much
they're fully upgraded.
Yeah. Again, I should stress that this is not the tethers you'll start the game with, but more like something you'd get like halfway in. Now I'm being shot at, which isn't as convenient.
Yeah,
as
that's
I had
one
hoped.
thing that I actually noticed is Rico is. I mean, he was superhuman in Just Cause 2, but this is just ridiculous. He can take so
much damage.
punishment.
Yeah, but that's about that. That's the thing. Also, we had a guy over here to sort of take us through the ropes when we recorded the gameplay, and he said like, well, the point of also the Wingsuit especially is also this has become more than just a third-person action game. This is now a superhero simulator, almost, to make you feel immensely powerful against what would seem to be overwhelmingly like negative odds. By the way, explosions here looks completely phenomenal, and it seems like the enemy AI here has gotten not better, but it seems like they know that they're just cannon fodder now. So they just place themselves in your way, and you can do whatever.
Yeah, I'll just stand here and shoot at him until he notices me and shoots back.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see that guy standing completely still.
And here, actually, you are taking a little bit too much damage.
Yeah, highlights enemies here, by the way, in color, which is pretty nifty, I thought.
And here we go.
By the way,
the Michael Bay moment.
Look. So, okay, here we get to look at the Rebel drop.
Now this is a very nifty feature.
Yeah.
What you do is you earn these tokens, which means that you can then order in reinforcements of different stuff, a drop basically. Here you are ordering in different weapons.
Yeah.
You can also see some of the different weapons here, dual-wielded pistols and submachine guns.
Yeah.
We've been using the Capstone Hydra in the video here. You're gonna switch to the UPU
that's
210
crazy,
grenade launcher, which is actually quite nice. Some of course, not that everything was unlocked for us.
Some of it, I think he gave us like a fair chance of. So each Rebel drop, which of course, as Dóri said, is a sort of a grenade or a signal beacon that you throw out into the environment, and then a box will drop with the stuff you've ordered. And you can order one in each slot here on the left side, which you saw, and you can see what you're throwing here.
Yeah.
So
it's basically a way for them to bring in like a user-friendly version of the mod tools or the terminal. It's like, instead of opening up the terminal and ordering all different types of stuff, they actually make it a gameplay mechanic where you have a beacon and then you can just order crazy amounts of whatever.
And also, like, the thing is that in Just Cause 2, they tried to do something similar in the vein of Tom Sheldon, your mentor, dropping vehicles and stuff for you. A pretty sort of a good idea, but the system didn't quite work. It took way too long. Whereas this, they get rid of all feasible, like, realism in order, and it even comes with confetti on top, which is just, you can
see, like, it drops down a container that is sometimes smaller than the stuff that you're ordering.
Yeah, so this
and of course you don't waste any time. You turn around and the tank goes straight for the base.
This is me trying to figure out, because one of the things that were my main like negative drawbacks of Just Cause 2 was that vehicle combat didn't really seem like it was part of the game. It felt like it was secondary in every single way. So how does a tank feel? And I found that it feels way better to control a tank. It is like sufficiently slow, yet sufficiently like, you could say that it's maneuverable in the sense that you can use it to start your base takeover. And you could easily get out, like, tether something and then get back in the tank. It does provide you with a slightly, I think, more varied arsenal when going into a base like this, which is, by the way, the bases in this game are effing huge.
Yeah.
There are so many things to blow up, and it's cool. That's what we like.
It's different between bases how many actual chaos objects you need to destroy in order to take over the base. But like in this one, it's very spread out and sporadic. You can see there's one dish over there, and all the way over on the other building in the distance there's another dish. And you but you can see here in the upper left corner under the name Lavanda Porto La Gracia, you can see the different types of objects that you need to find and how many of them you have destroyed already.
Yeah. So instead of having like the percentage stuff that you had in Just Cause 2, you now have these nifty little icons, and that's also a thing that.
So you know you need to find a satellite dish. You know you're looking for, a gas
relay
main or something
whatever.
like that.
Yeah. The thing is also like. One of the main missions with Just Cause 3 is to free up some of the UI stuff, which was pretty heavy in the first game, in order for you to enjoy like visuals and action and stuff. So right now, whereas it may seem like there's a lot of stuff cluttering the screen, when you're have holstered your weapon and just traversing the environment, the screen is actually almost clear of anything, which is just sort of like realizing for the team at Avalanche, okay, we have a good canvas, we're just building. This is very much a straight sequel, which I completely enjoy it for. That this is Just Cause 2.5.
Yeah, here we have a little bit of a showcase of the traversal. You can actually travel a long way in the parachute. It doesn't fall all the time, so you can use the tether and move around.
Yeah.
Also showing off the heat level. Here you have like heat level 5, but as soon as you're out of range, they lose visual and start searching for you.
Yeah.
Every time, of course, that you're spotted, it pops right back, but you can actually lose them by either getting out of their visual range or just by simply killing everyone.
Yeah. That's true. That's I think a great way, which they may have like borrowed from the GTA series, which is like having visual contact with the player. Losing visual contact will, of course, either by destroying the head that
I love how you took down this chopper here with the tether.
Can't believe I didn't die.
Well,
and I did.
You kind of did.
Oh yeah, so that I like that as well. Also, wanted to showcase here in the upper right corner. Now, Just Cause 3 has leaderboard support, and while that may sound like pretty rudimentary when you first hear of it, all leaderboard support, that's nothing. However, it's leaderboard support that sort of is infused with every single part of the game.
Yeah, it's not just the like the speed challenges.
No.
It's also just like there. Oh,
yeah.
How much time do you spend at heat level 5?
Yeah.
How many headshots have you gotten in a row?
Which is why it's perfect, because we here at Gamereactor are going to like take a look at Just Cause 3 in a like more than once to check back with the resource support to see which of us can have the longest 5 heat level streak, or which one of us can take down the chaos objects the quickest. By the way, this is me playing a bit around with the physics of the game, because these are actually on destructible pillars. So the tank itself, you see, I've detracted it, and then I'm using the pull from the tethers to pull it down the hill, which I think, if I have to say so myself, is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and
flying through the...
Yeah, the way they represent fire in this game is phenomenal.
I have no idea why I did that, by the way. This is me toying with the locals. The civilians in Medici... Oh, by the way, these aren't civilians, so... This is just tether. This is like a basic tether pull. Now, we should stress that if you put several tethers in one object, it's just going to be stronger. However, you can have like a chronically row of tethers.
Yeah.
If one object pulls to another object, which pulls to a third object, you can sort of create your own range of tethers.
But here we're also seeing a lot of gunplay. Well,
this is me.
Here you stand up close to him and use the C4. Got an achievement there. But what did you think about the actual gunplay in the game? Because the focus is so much on the tethers and movement and stuff like that. And being crazy, like with this grenade that just automatically homes into the enemy.
Well, I think the explosive weapons, like the, as you said, like the Hydra or the homing grenade, works really well because it feels like it.
I love this moment.
He's still on the phone.
Wait, listen.
Maybe I need an oil.
Maybe he needs what?
An oil change.
Maybe you do. The weapons that I thought like heavy weapons like shotguns and explosives and stuff worked really well. It still feels like that the assault rifles feel a bit floaty, almost like there isn't actually bullets coming out of the thing. However...
Oh no!
Oh, he needs an oil change!
He needs more than that now.
Yeah, he needs more than that. I just thought... It's secondary, so I can't really judge it based on that. The gunplay isn't broken in any stretch of the imagination. It works really well, actually. Yeah. It's just not something you notice, really.
Here we're going into some of the challenges. We're going to take a look at a couple of different challenges that you can do. This is the Wingsuit challenge.
Now, we haven't been able to determine yet whether or not there's actual real side mission content. What we saw is main mission content and challenges. And these are Wingsuit challenges. Of course, there are several challenges, which we'll get to later in the video, with tank frenzies and creating the most chaos in a given time. But this is just also to sort of introduce you to the Wingsuit mechanic. I'm pretty sure this is me, by the way.
Yeah, this is
nailing this. Also, on the up top right corner, you can see your rank with the amount of gears you have, and also your score compared to your friends list. So, I thought I did that very well, by the way. JC3 SpongeBob is us, by the way. And we got 3 gear mods here, and you can see your roadmap to the next piece of unlocked equipment you'll get.
Here we have a different track.
Slightly more difficult, this one. The first one was the very first you get to experience.
Yeah, I cut out your first 2 or 3 attempts on both of these.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, the Square Enix representative was like, he thought that I was ambitious but rubbish in the best possible Top Gear way. So, I think I was pretty nifty here. And you can see in the upper right corner again, the personal best is 26,000. And I'm on 16,000 right now and losing altitude fast. Oh!
Quite fast.
Oh! Thank you.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that we're talking about the wingsuit and how to traverse with it using the this rope launcher.
It just seems like to me
it pulls you so much towards the ground.
Yeah,
you really need to time actually when you use it and how you.
This is
counteract it pulling you down.
I'm ready here for a Gamereactor top tip, which is the crucial lesson that I learned is that you have to aim horizontally as far as humanly possible. So just when your reticule becomes, that it enables you to use your grapple hook, if you aim too much downwards, as you said, it's pulling you way too much towards the ground and you will flat out die. This is another challenge where
just a tank frenzy just to show that off.
Which I found to be like a bit mediocre in the sense, especially on this space, because the objects are so far apart that, and you, as you can see here on the top of the screen, you get just a minute and a half to take out as much. And I found this to be, by the way, the destruction of these, the way they they turn, it's very cool.
Oh yeah, because it's like generators. That's kind of nice.
It's very nice. And also, you see, already here, I'm running out of, like, the visible red objects. I can see it on my reticule, which is cool.
But in the tank frenzy, is the objective to take out the chaos objects or just whatever?
No, the chaos objects especially is what you should be focusing on. However, vehicles and stuff also count towards the chaos, but it won't give you nearly enough points.
As many points, yeah.
Nearly enough. By the way, a nifty little spawn. These are drivable, by the way, the Nashorns. Nice. You can see I get 75. For taking one that takes 2 shots to take down, which is not anything at all. And to me, maybe there is tank frenzies in the very crowded, like, military bases, which is filled with, like, objects. But here I found it to be, slightly far between the objects that I wanted to destroy. But I'm guessing this might be the case of just this base only. But you can see I didn't even get, I have 15 seconds left. I don't even have 1.5 gear mods. Yeah. So and I discovered that down here there's more.
But a little too late.
Very much so too late. And I completely destroyed this one. And also, Tank Frenzy is very much so about getting like streaks. So 4x or 5x or whatever. See, my score here was middling. So what are we doing here? There's another challenge here, a land race, which is, you remember this from Just Cause 2, sorry. It's basically just picking whatever vehicle. I picked this vehicle here. This is the first ever land race you get to experience in the game. And basically driving through these points as fast as you can. So not much new under the sun here, but they do work well. Especially when, before you can start the race, you can pick whatever vehicle you want.
And what do you think about like the handling and the actual driving mechanics? You touched upon this a little bit earlier.
So improved, but not optimal, I'd say. The handbrake to me, and I play a lot of racing games and also a lot of third third-person action games, the handbrake is useless, basically, because it's either not on or it turns the car 180 degrees. As you can see, when I use it here, you see it brakes the car too much. However, we during our like 3-4 hours with the game, I didn't get to use any like really sporty, really fast vehicles. So maybe when you're up to speed, it's different. But in terms of this pickup truck here, it brakes too much.
Yeah, I actually used the Rebel Drop to call down several of the sports cars.
Okay.
I was mainly fitting them with C4 and trying to drive them into bases.
Very much so,
But I
yes.
think the handling was decent. It's in my opinion regular fare for a third-person game.
I just think that GTA 5 set a benchmark, which is hard to get around.
True.
Because it's found, but that's also because the GTA 4 was too floaty, and so they sort of they've also taken the time to adjust. But you see the car here is more like in the little preview clip here.
Yeah. And I just want to show this here. You go directly from the land race straight into more destruction.
Yes. Is that me doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah. By the way, the fields that are scattered around the game are completely beautiful. There's like sunflowers and these red flowers here, which you can, if you're brave enough, you can sort of wingsuit amongst the flora.
And you
fauna,
can actually drive through them and kind of make your own crop circles as well.
Now this is a pretty cool thing, because while the military bases have their own chaos objects, as this is, by the way, the row of tethers, which are, and they don't quite work. Yes, then you pull stuff together, or several, which I think is cool. No, but what I wanted to touch upon briefly here is that while I'm also pulling the tower down, is that some of the bases have like specific ways of causing more destruction, which is the furnace towers here, where you have to hack 2 terminals, which grants you 40 seconds to take out the propeller engines, which is here just to our right here.
Okay. I don't think you actually do that here in this.
I don't do that. I did that over the course of the playthrough, I think, and also in my preview, which causes like some pretty spectacular destruction. But it's pretty difficult to get it done.
Yeah, and here you try the multi-tether again with like a chain of tethers.
Yeah, I did. I don't think this works out just as well.
Quite efficient. Large explosion.
Yeah, which also ends up harming myself. So we're back at Cava, Montana, which is the place where we did the tank frenzy, and also like the mountainous region of the game. Now, in the same vein as Just Cause 2, the game, even though it's all like Mediterranean, it supports like a ton of different environments. So there is the snowy mountains, as you'd expect.
This is more of a mine.
Yeah, this is the mine. Yeah, like pretty barren, but there is like snowy mountains, sort of warm tourist beaches, and like pine forests and stuff. So there is like a variety of different. And this is you catching up to the train.
No, this is you. I actually put this clip in here just to show off just how fast you can be with the wingsuit.
And this is also when I got the point of the wingsuit there. Yeah. This is when I have practiced for a couple of hours, and when you sort of get the movement, it works out for you. This is like the thing. This is when I don't know whether or not I can actually blow up the train, but I think that might be...
No, I think I cut this clip here before you tried to tether it to the tunnel there, and it didn't work.
Okay.
So I just. But
sorry.
Here's another example of the traversal that I think is really nice.
Gaining speed. This is a cool
jumping
town.
Up here.
Also, this is also the first town that you liberate in the game. So
if you decide.
But it's part of the main quest. So. This is, by the way...
this is a gentleman that dared to be in your way, which...
I tried it.
We can't have that.
I don't know what I'm actually trying to do here.
Okay, all right. We're all having a good laugh. Now
let me go. Nope.
It's me deciding that sending him out on one trip wasn't enough.
Yeah. Here we're back to me, and I've decided to take down this little statue here. Now, these statues are a part of the chaos objects in the little towns in order to take them over. A little fun thing is that the head will never
fully destruct.
Fully
so you can
destruct. It'll
always-
just blow off at the neck, so I decided to give him a little bit of a C4 necktie here.
Yeah, that's cool. And also, like this, oh, that's.
Quelle surprise!
Also, the statues are a pretty cool way also to experiment with the tethers because you can like tie the legs to one surface, the head to another, and the body to a third, and
or
then
the,
pull
or,
it,
or
like,
the head to the hand, and
Yeah.
then have him smack himself.
Yeah, that's the thing. And also, these are also part of the challenge stuff where the game asks you to blow something up in a specific way.
Yeah.
I think that's also cool. This is another rebel drop here, which we're
Yeah.
getting a rascal van.
Yeah, I decided to go for a little bit of a van here. I wanted to take a
Explode.
different approach to taking down a base
Oh, there's a base below us right here.
above. So yeah, I jumped into the van, put a little C4 on it, and I'm off to the races, so to speak.
Yeah. Can you activate the C4 while you're in the vehicle?
No, that's kind of. I thought that was kind of annoying. You have to jump out before you can actually trigger the C4, which I would have liked to trigger it while in the car and then jump out. It just kind of feels more natural. But yeah, they let me in. They shouldn't have let
What?
me in.
They actually let you in before there was a heat level.
Yeah.
Oh, run! By the way, I think that actually these radio towers that we're seeing here present some of the most spectacular graphical because they sort of collapse.
Yeah,
on their own.
the physics of how they fall
Yeah.
down.
And
Here
also
he's
the-
trying to call for
Yeah.
support. Can't
Oh,
have that.
Yeah, a reinforcement call which has been cancelled. You can do that constantly, despite it's obviously it gets very difficult once
Yeah.
you enter a
Which
huge
means
space.
now I've killed every single living soul in the space, which means that they've now lost visual
Yeah,
and they're
they're
searching for
searching.
me. Of course, somebody may be on the way. I think I was able to kill him before he got the call out.
Yeah, I think so as well. This is the Hydra that we're seeing here for a
Yeah.
special weapon. By the way, the satellite dish going off on its own like that is pretty cool. So this is the same thing as you would expect from a Just
so
Cause game.
that's just a little quick snippet of
Yeah.
how to liberate a settlement. This is me still here.
You really loved, by the way, the
There we go.
spectacular destruction here. And also, when these bits and pieces fall off the satellite dish, for example, it remains physical objects in the world. So you can die from getting a piece of the satellite dish thrown in your face.
Yeah, and
so you need to be
you
careful.
can tether it and play around with it,
Yeah.
or here we go, and up you go, and you're dead.
That's a cool like three part one there.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it remains physical in the world until, of course, you get a certain distance and, you know,
So
everything.
the thing,
kinda
like the
responds.
main stuff that I enjoy about Just Cause 3 compared to Just Cause 2 is that there just seems to be more cool gadgets to play around with, like
Yeah.
several types of grenades, several types of special weapons that are all perfect for creating destruction,
Yeah.
which
now,
is
now here I actually encounter this is a bit more of a heavy enemy who's able to release the tether from himself
Yes.
if I'm not fast enough. So I tried again. Now I'm fast enough. Up against the flag.
yeah.
And
Also, as the
just
Square-
I had to make sure.
Yeah. The Square Enix rep did tell me at this point that there are maybe 5 to 6 types of heavy enemies, and depending on how difficult they are, the faster they will take out the tether from themselves.
Now here I ran across something. I was like, "What is
This
going on
is
here?"
Medici is a crazy place.
Yeah. So
This is a cow eating a dead guy.
I went back to the old staple.
Yeah. And this is
C4 to the buttocks.
yes to the buttocks, and also like all of them on the tail.
Yeah. Yeah. And so here I decided, okay, I'm gonna do something quite fancy. I'm gonna first call down a helicopter. Oh, thank you very much.
I saw this clip and was like, what the hell is going on?
So here
you also fail, right?
but I'm gonna guide you through my thinking here.
Yeah.
So you see the base there in the distance.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I have a cow laced with C4.
Yeah.
I have a helicopter. I
Yeah.
have tethers.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an explosive bovine wrecking ball. So
But then again, as we will soon discover, your plan had flaws.
yeah, here's a little bit of a complaint that I have about the game is the key bindings on the keyboard. I think the game is more set out to be for the controller, even on the PC, which kind of annoyed me. Like here, the buttons that you need to press in order to get out and inside of the helicopter
Yeah.
are different. So I press one button to stunt jump out of the helicopter and stay on
Right,
it.
yes.
I press another button to completely jump out, and the helicopter will fall down and explode.
I see.
And then, to get back in, I press the button to get back into the helicopter, which is the button that makes me jump out of it. So it's like, but here, okay, I saved it. Okay, now I'm not gonna make this mistake again. But I thought, okay, the cow is a little bit too far down. I want to bring her just a little bit higher up. So I'm gonna gently, oh shit!
And because you got hit by the cow, which is coming straight in your face, by the way.
Yeah. So, okay, at this point, everything's going wrong.
Rammed by a citizen
But
once more.
One
it's
thing,
okay.
cool guys
it's okay.
don't look at explosions. So,
Yeah. But you're okay. Everything is fine. You took your revenge. So
Yeah.
for the last clip here, we're gonna take a look at some explosions.
yeah, again, it's me with a van, with a ramp, set up some C4, and I guess you can see where this is going. But yeah, this is the last clip that we're actually showing in this preview here. It should be said this is a preview build. This is not quite the final build, but looking damn fine. Of course, the game is out soon.
Yeah.
And we will, of course, be covering it extensively here on Gamereactor, both with live streams, reviews, etc., etc. Make sure to tune in on the live stream next Monday. And yeah,
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much
watching.
for watching.